All right, so I've been reading some materials about this collapse of this huge project. There's a huge 8-tower, multiple townhouses complex. It was massive, really massive project in Etobicoke and in Toronto. Collapsed. Like they couldn't even sell 10% of one tower of condos. Like it just went up in smoke. Big builder. Big project, just fell apart, hopeless. But it made me stop and think about something because I read through a bunch of the materials about it, okay? Somebody was kind enough to send them to me. So this is it. We have to start laying the blame on big cities bigly for this condo crash and dirty dog crate condo fuckery, okay? We got to just lay it where it deserves to be. City Hall, city planners, you just did an incredibly shitty job. Over the last 15 years, you just destroyed cities. That's the reality. So let's talk about it. So when if you apply for one of these condos, you're building this huge project. I think they were building like 4,000 or 5,000 units out there, this huge project. It's a great location, by the way. But yeah, okay, so who approves these condo sizes? On the altar of density, we got to pack people in. Density, says the planners. Density, says the mayor. Density, says the councillors. So on the altar of packing people in like sardines, all of these politicians, all these councillors, the mayor, and particularly you dirty urban planners at City Hall, you sold your souls. You gave up all your humanity. I'm reading the list of these unit sizes, okay? Oh, yeah, there's going to be a bunch of 385 square foot units. What's wrong with you? Okay, like how could that get approved? How could 385 square feet be approved? That is smaller than some official prison cells in some states of the union, okay? Like, it's bizarre. It's crazy. It doesn't even make sense, okay? Who the hell's going to live in 385 square feet? It's a joke. But there it is. Okay, then it just moves on down and gets somewhat worse. Or it gets better, but it's still terrible because there's more of these. There's not that many 385 square feet. Like, what? How do you even live with that? Like, what do you cook with your toes sticking out of your bed? I mean, it's just like insanity. Okay, like, what do you open your? Do you get up from bed in the morning and then you turn and open your balcony because that's how small it is? Okay, and you brush your teeth outside and spit off the balcony. Like, it doesn't even make sense to me. This crazy shit. But the next one's gonna be at your 440s. You got your 480. You got your 520. You got your 545. You got your 585. That's a ton of the units. So small. The city approves it. Now, if you talk to the city, they say, well, you misunderstand this, Mr. Ron. Actually, what's happening here is that the developer tells us what he thinks he can achieve to be able to build the building, and we give like a general approval. Like, well, you can all screw yourselves. Like, just screw yourselves right into the ground, okay? Like, you contributed to this hellacious driving all families out of Toronto, because what else could it be? Like, if you're in a 420 square foot unit, 2 people can't even live in there. Okay. Like, seriously, like you other than it's convenient for screwing because everything's so tight and close together, you can't even live in there. Okay, it's ridiculous that 2 people could, like, you just have to go there, make coffee, go to bed, go out for breakfast, go out for lunch, go out for dinner, go to work. Like, you can never actually do anything really in that tiny unit. So there's no hope of a family. There's no hope of even a couple. Like, you wonder why people aren't even matching up with others. Like, these living conditions are disgusting, okay? We haven't even talked about the terrible layouts. Like, hey, city planners, do you think it's a good idea that there's only one source of light, which is the balcony? That's it. There's no other source of light in these units. And okay, like in order to get, because you require them to put a little bit of light into a bedroom, that you just make the bedroom glass. Okay. I think you need to be very careful about the kind of toys you leave on the bedstand, because everybody's going to walk right. Sometimes you walk right into the bedroom. That's the entryway to these garbage condominium units. Okay. And yeah, you better be careful what you leave on the bed table. Okay. I mean, you got to put that away, right? Don't leave that out because it's glass. Like if everybody ever came into it besides yourself, that's where it is. Okay. So they should be ashamed of themselves. They just should hang their heads in shame. They don't. They're very proud of their density. These city planners, these politicians, because at the end of the day, it was just to get in taxes and development fees. You know, there's $3 billion with a B, $3 billion of development fees sitting in accounts for the city of Toronto because they charged so much for development they couldn't do. How do you do development on something that's, it's right downtown? We don't need any development. Like there's no new sidewalks, there's no new roads, there's no new nothing, okay? So $3 billion on development that you overcharged. You couldn't find anything to spend it on in Toronto. Like you just kept taking it like you were in the mafia. You were a gangster. Keep giving me my taste. Keep giving me my money. It's like ridiculous. All right. And here we go. There's no more building because they took so much cash out from the developers to fill this $3 billion bank account that people stopped building, and this project collapsed. But you approved all this stuff. You approved the super tiny units. You approved the terrible layouts. You approved the inferior finishes. You improved everything. And your building inspectors did a crap job because the elevators, like they break down the second month after the place opens. Okay. They start to break down. So how good was all of your work that you did, your inspections, your building inspectors, everything else? Did a terrible job, okay? Yes, I blame you. I accuse you, city planners, councils, mayors. I accuse you of doing a horrible job just out of greed and the crazy, crazy concept of density. You're bad.